everyone, and welcome to the next in our series of daily origami for YouTube. Today we're going to continue our theme of looking at some traditional origami, and we're going to make a pagoda. Now this particular origami works really great when you make a lot of pieces and kind of tower them up together. Typical pagodas usually are 3 or 5 story, but you can kind of play around with that if you want to. You can take the liberty to just have one layer. I'm going to show you guys just how to do this with 3. You do need 3 pieces of paper. I'm going to start off with 15 by 15 centimeters, and then what I'll do is kind of adjust the size. Now you could make each piece exactly the same size, that's fine, but it does look a little cooler if they kind of slowly become a little bit tapered off at the top. So, not 1, excuse me, 3. That's what we're going to do here. So I'll show you guys how to fold things first. I've got my 3 pieces of paper here, and just to start things off, you can go ahead and fold off. I've just folded over an edge here of 1 centimeter and 2 centimeters. And then the really easy way to kind of do things is to just go ahead and cut the layer off here. And you don't even need to be really exact about this. You can just kind of choose how much to fold off. But I'll fold off this part here. And then to make sure I've got a square, just go ahead and fold your paper in half. Or you could measure the other side, but this is a more kind of reliable way than to just get that folded over and then just cut right along this triangle here. And that will give us a square piece that's just a tad bit smaller than the one that we've been using for the first layer. And then for the second one, we'll do the same thing. I've got about 2 centimeters folded over on this one. I'll just go ahead and cut. And then fold over to make this triangle again. And go ahead and cut off that part. So that I get the 3 pieces of paper that I'll use to make my pagoda. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to fold one piece. They're exactly the same, and then we'll put them all together, of course, when we're done here. We'll go ahead and start off by taking our color side facing down. We're going to do a water bomb base. So if I start off first by just folding my paper in half diagonally, make a big triangle, open it up, and we'll fold the other way as well. Go ahead and then with the color side facing up, fold in half, both vertically and horizontally. This will give us all the creases we need so we can collapse our paper into a water bomb base here. Go ahead and look at the color side, look at it like a diamond, find all those creases and just pinch on opposite sides and kind of push in, let everything shimmy around until you can get it to lay flat like a nice little triangle here. Now the next thing I want to do is take each of these tips and we're going to fold straight up to the top. So I'm going to do this front side first, get both of these folded up. And then after you've gotten both of those folded up, flip it over and do the same thing then on this side too. So we'll just try to get both of these folded up. So we get something that looks like this. Now we're going to take each of these little triangles, and if I pop open here in the middle and put a little pressure on the top, I can smush it down, bringing that tip straight down so that we get this nice little square. I'll do that for this side too. And then we'll go ahead and flip it over and do the same steps on the other side as well. So that we wind up with something like this. Now I'm going to take each of these little flaps and we're going to fold up and open it out so that we can see a little bit of the white underneath, so that these little squares at the bottom become white now instead of purple. Flip it over, do the same thing on this side too. After you've gotten both of those, all 4 of those little flaps folded up, then I'm just going to go ahead and take this little bit that you see here and fold that straight up into that space too. so that we get a nice little triangle cut fold there. And I'll do the same thing on the other side too. Then I'm going to take each of these sides and I'm just going to open up the flap from the left to the right for a second, and I'm just going to take and fold this towards the center. So essentially what I'm doing is also just tucking this behind. If you feel comfortable just kind of tucking it and creasing it down, you can, or you can fold over and then fold into the center. Now you don't want to be too close to that center because you do want to still allow room for this to open up and not cause too much tension on the inside there. So it's just sort of up to you of how you want to do things. Just get all 4 of those flaps tucked behind by either folding over and folding it like I'm doing here, or just rolling it behind. It's up to you. But you should get something then that looks like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and take what you see up here, and if we just give a gentle pull and open everything up for just a second and then put a little pressure on that bottom part, we can open things out and get it to lay flat into this nice little trapezoid shape up here at the top. And I'm just going to flip it over, do the same things on this side too, just opening things up for a second and then just laying it flat up at the top. And that should give you a completed piece of our pagoda. Now we're just going to repeat those steps with our other 2 pieces, and then we can put all this together to make our finished pagoda. So when you're finished, you should have these 3 little pagodas here, and to put them together you just kind of slide them in from the top here, trying to get the legs to separate there, and then we just kind of push them through here. So you kind of just get things slid in there, getting these parts to kind of go inside, and you can choose to go ahead and kind of actually get these. The top part just slides right in pretty easily, but then on the sides, if you want to kind of lock things, you can get this part to go inside these sides, or you can just lift them up to kind of go over so that there's an extra space where things can kind of lock. And then we just do the same thing for up here. So again, I just get each of these little kind of leg sections to go on either side here. Be a little tricky, but once you get it going, then you can just kind of slide it down there. And then, like I said, on this part here, if you want to go ahead and sometimes it slides in automatically, get it kind of so that that layer is on top. And the same thing on this side too. I'll get these guys underneath the layer here if I can. You should get something then that looks like this. Nice little cool tower pagoda. And in terms of height for mine, with the way I did stuff with the dimensions that I made things at, this guy's about 14 centimeters tall, and at its widest is about 7.5 centimeters. So but this makes a great two-dimensional project. If you want to keep it flat, you can keep it flat, put it under a book or some heavy things to keep it flat for a while. Or you can go ahead and open things up here and make it kind of stand like a 3-dimensional piece as well. So lots of different uses for it, but a really cool kind of accent. If you're doing anything that has sort of a Japanese theme, this is always kind of a fun little thing to make, to add to stuff, to complete stuff. So that is our finished project for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.